By the time winter settled over the Azure Palace, Princess Alara was no longer a girl living in quiet rebellion. She was a woman standing at the edge of consequence. She had turned 21 beneath the palace chandeliers, accepting smiles and blessings that felt like chains. Her betrothed's envoys arrived weekly now, their presence a constant, suffocating reminder that her future was being measured, sealed, and prepared for delivery. Her days were a tapestry of forced smiles and curtsies, each thread pulling tighter around her throat. But behind the serene facade of the princess, a storm was gathering, one that threatened to shatter the fragile peace of the entire kingdom. King Theron felt the change in the air before anyone spoke of it. He saw it in the way Alara carried herself through the echoing halls, no longer tentative, no longer merely curious. There was a raw resolve in her gaze now, a fire that unsettled him more than any whispered scandal ever could. He found himself avoiding the places they once shared, especially the library where their minds had first met across pages of history and poetry. He took longer, winding routes through the palace, circling the heart of his turmoil. He told himself this restraint was loyalty to the dead and mercy to the living. But the lie grew heavier with each passing day. He was a king bound by duty, but a man drowning in a forbidden current. One night, beneath a sky bruised with impending storm clouds, Alara finally found him. He stood alone in the Hall of Ancestral Kings, a solitary figure dwarfed by the shadows of his lineage. Candles flickered along stone faces carved with centuries of rule and ruin, their cold eyes watching him. "You're leaving again," she said softly. Her voice was not an accusation, but a simple, painful statement of fact. Theron did not turn, his shoulders rigid. "You should not be here." His voice was rough, a king's command laced with a man's desperation. "Neither should you," she replied, her steps quiet on the cold stone floor. "Yet here we are, both bound by ghosts." Her words struck deeper than she knew, cutting through the armor he had so carefully constructed. He finally faced her, and for the first time, he did not hide the truth in his eyes. The grief for his lost queen still lived there, a constant shadow. But beside it, something else blazed. Longing. Dangerous, undeniable, and utterly devastating. "You are promised to another," he said, his voice low and strained. "And I am sworn to a crown that devours everything it touches." Each word was a nail in the coffin of their impossible hope. Alara stepped closer, her courage a fragile but unbroken shield against his royal decree. She could feel the heat radiating from him, the pull of their shared secret. "Then tell me to stop feeling this," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Tell me it means nothing." Silence answered her, a silence heavier and more damning than any confession could ever be. It hung between them, thick with unspoken words and the heartbreaking truth of their shared desire. And from the deep shadows beyond the stone pillars, unseen eyes watched. A flicker of movement, a held breath. Because secrets, after all, never belong only to those who keep them. They are currency in a court of whispers. By morning, the first rumors stirred like serpents, slithering through the opulent corridors of the court. A hushed word here, a knowing glance there. An emergency council meeting was called, the lords and ladies arriving with grim, uncertain faces. And just as the tension reached its peak, a sealed letter arrived from the neighboring kingdom, the kingdom of her betrothed. Its contents were unknown, but the royal seal was broken with a chilling finality, promising to shatter the precarious peace. Duty was tightening its grip, a cold iron fist closing around their hearts. And desire, once awakened, refused to go back to sleep. The stage was set for a tragedy, and the whole kingdom was about to watch. Thank you for watching this episode of Tales from the Veil. What do you think the letter says? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the next chapter in this forbidden royal saga.